You're watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
We're back. We're talking with Mayor Bill Saffo, Mayor of Wilmington, of course, and Commissioner Bobby Greer, New Hanover County Commission, the longest serving member of that board at this point. We're talking about the public's right to know and what qualifies as public business. What happened to the telephone? We don't, it's like younger folks would rather text back and forth rather than like say, hey, what happened to the telephone? Do you all use the phone, or is everything email?
I still use the telephone. Very seldom do I ever email anyone. I like to know that, you know, you've heard me and I've heard you, and
of course you
whatever,
can send out to, you know, a countless number of people by one flick of the button.
Absolutely. And I'll say this, Donna, and I mentioned this earlier when I came in. I've seen a dramatic shift to electronic communication as opposed to telephone. When I was elected in 2003 to today in 2009, it is a dramatic shift that what I have seen. Well, of course, I can spend about an hour every single day just answering emails, if not more.
And every time you answer one, it generates another one.
Another one. And then you also do get the telephone calls, as Bobby indicated. You do have citizens and folks that want to talk to you one-on-one about a particular issue in their neighborhood or
all the time.
All the time. So you're dealing with the electronic aspect of it as well as the telephone, as well as some people want, you know, they communicate still by snail mail. And there's a group of citizens out there that's all they want to do is the mail. So you've got all kinds of communication going on out there.
Are we getting to a point where technology is becoming unmanageable? How do we manage all of this? How do you, as public figures, manage?
I've seen the increase in our budget personally, the city, with the electronic budget, with the IT department growing. I mean, it's constant, and our public information office is growing. The communications, how we have to communicate with the public, with our websites and what have you, is growing. Our city clerk and the information that she's having to disseminate and the staff she's going to need is continuing to grow.
Another issue, we're going to leave this for a minute, another issue that's generated quite a bit of public discussion is the disclosure of public employees' salaries. Do you think the salaries of all employees of the public sector should be public?
I'm not opposed to that if someone wants to go get the information. I don't think it serves any purpose to put it in a newspaper or in print or something like that.
You don't think it's helpful to the public to know what the people that are working for them make?
It's fine. I mean let them call and get that information if they so desire. But I don't know that it helps anything to publish that.
Do you think it helps to publish comparisons of what communities of similar size, what their public officials are making, as opposed to what people are making in the same pay grade in this community?
Well, in my opinion, I don't want to step on any toes, but what normally happens is you go and say, well, the county manager of this county makes this, and the county manager over here makes this, so this county manager needs to go up to that level, and then that county calls, well, this county went up there, so, and it's the same thing, I think, in municipalities. Everybody is trying to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. And
a number of people took issue with the recent Star News series of stories on the salaries of public officials and how much they make with appropriate comparisons. How did you feel about that series, Mayor?
I'm okay with it. I think that the citizens are the taxpayers, obviously. And they pay the bills, and they have a right to know what their employees make. I know that when we do an evaluation every single year, if we give a raise or if we don't give a raise, we get some calls, we get some emails about what people think about that person getting that raise. I think it's good for the citizens to know and to be able to compare what our city manager is making as opposed to other city managers of cities of comparable size. I think the police chief, the fire chief, all of our public employees, they should know that. They are our bosses, and they should have a right to know what those people make.
There was also a court case recently initiated by the Star News against New Hanover County about releasing the names and positions of people who were laid off due to a recent budget crunch. What was your take on that?
I supported the manager in his decision not to give those names out. Eventually, we were required to give those names out. Sometimes that adds insult to injury to say that, you know, John Smith, you know, he had to be let go, and Mary had to be let go, and this, that, and the other. And during that process, it's traumatic enough for the individuals.
But don't you think that should be public information? That's part of the job of what you take on when you work for the government?
No, I don't believe I agree with that. I think that certain things should be private. You know, just how much does the public need to know?
Which is the crux of what we're talking about.
That's right. I mean, if you have X number of employees, you can say, yes, we have so many employees in this department, and they make this much money if you're interested, and you know, but to say that, you know.
We're almost out of time, and I want to veer off topic for a minute while I have you both here and ask a question about a topic that's been discussed quite a bit between the city and the county about local sales tax revenue, where it's generated and the percentage split between the two. The city the city says it generates, and this is roughly, 80% of the sales tax revenue gets only 20% of that. The county is in the reverse position. They generate about 20% of it and get 80% of the revenue. The city says that's one of the reasons we have to annex, because it takes money to support and keep up development that generates as sales tax. And I'm curious what your take is on that.
Well, I know that, Don, I brought that comment up, and of course this is my own personal take on it. I think the state legislature, it was very definitive as to how cities and counties would grow. They gave the opportunity for counties to determine how the sales tax revenue would be distributed. They gave the cities the opportunity to annex. It's been so far very good for the state of North Carolina. It's kept both counties and cities very healthy.
Let me get the commissioner before we run out of time.
You know, I don't agree with that. The state legislature has set up that mechanism. The state, you know, the county gets so much, the city gets so much. The county is an extension of state government. We're required to perform certain services. You know, we do the courts, the jails, the schools, and all that. Probably most of them live in the city of Wilmington. So is that fair? But that's just the way it is. So
thank you both. I'm sorry we rushed through that end, but we're out of time. If you want to see Byline online, go to WILM-TV.com. For Byline Wilmington, I'm Don Ansel, and we'll see you next week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning at 11 as we explore the issues that concern you.